Hello, Ramona. I can't shake the simplest feeling beyond the ghost. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, Ramona. I reach through mysterious ceilings, my only hope. I look for the things I don't.
Hello, DMV. This is Ramona Jones McClain, and I am calling you in today from our office in Ricestown, Maryland, at 11707 Ricestown Road. And today, we are here talking to you about back to school. Back to school. As you know, school started this week. We got little young people getting up early in the morning, going out, school clothes and everything. And I'm so happy to be back from our hiatus, our August vacation that we usually take this time of year. And want to talk to you about new things, want to relate different things back to insurance and talk about what's been on my mind. So back to school. Today we have a few guests with us. We got Amaya Jones, who is a sophomore at McDaniel College in Westminster, Maryland. And we have Jasmine Bowens, who is a sophomore at Virginia Union University. And then we have Taylor Mack, hopefully will be on, who is a senior at Franklin High School. So a lot of the things that that we want to talk about is, and you would think, okay, going back to school, what does that have to do with insurance? It has a lot to do with insurance. It has a lot to do with insurance because there are different aspects that relate as a young person transitions from a young person, a teenager, to an adult. If the teenager or the young adult is driving and there is a car, there are a lot of factors that are involved in reference to whose car insurance, if their own car insurance, and the cost, because we all know, if you don't know, the cost of insurance for those under the age of 25 is astronomical. But there are ways to get the most economic insurance at the best rate. You just have to do some shopping and ask the right questions. And that's what we're going to talk about. One of the other things that we want to consider is whether or not the student has medical insurance. Does your medical insurance extend to your loved one, your student, as they go to school at whatever stage they are in? And then we want to talk about property insurance. They're taking the belongings that they claim are theirs out of the house to a new physical location where they will be residing for 8-9 months out of the year. Are their items protected? What do you need to make sure they are protected? And what type of protections are in fact in place? Okay, so I want to welcome my guest, Amaya.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hi. So, yes, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good.
Good.
So, tell us about how it's been being back at school.
It's been fun. When I first came back here, I was excited. More so not for the work, but to see my friends and to get my own apartment on campus. Because as you are an upperclassman, you do have more options as a freshman. So that was exciting. And then we started getting into the swing of things, professors and all of the festivities outside. So that was also very fun. And then came the work, and that's where I'm at now. But it's college. It's a very, 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 very exciting experience. I suggest that, students fresh out of high school go to college just for the simple fact of the experience, because you never know who you can meet. You never know the many connections that you can make, and you never. And not so much, for the degree aspect, but for the experience as well, because again, you make many great connections with people that last a lifetime. So I know that was kind of off topic, but so far so good. No complaints at all. I'm learning my mojo, learning my routine, learning my schedule, and all around just learning how I work and operate as a sophomore in college.
I see. So you, like a lot of upperclassmen, have a vehicle at school.
Correct.
So it was time for you to go back. And how did that affect your car insurance?
So, okay.
So have you changed your car
Daniel?
insurance to the address where your school is?
No. So insurance guru, okay, I am with Farmers. So that's very convenient for me, the location, because it's only about 25 minutes away. But I didn't sort of say pick my insurance based off of where my location was. I picked my insurance based off of the agent, because I knew that my agent will make sure that me as a college student would, have, as she said, the right financial things to cover me where I'm at as a college student. One of the things as a college student is we go broke, spending $200, $300 worth of books that we only use for a semester, and that's renting books. So as a college student, it's hard trying to manage paying financial things that is outside of school, such as car insurance. Not only that, but I don't have a parking pass on campus, which means that I am parked illegally on campus. Do I care? Absolutely not, because they can't tow my car unless I'm on the street of Westminster, but I'm not. I'm in the campus. So my insurance would cover anything if, someone was to wreck my car with me being in an illegal parking spot, technically, so to speak. Right. So I think that's very, it's very important to have, and it's very significant, because I'm not paying, $500 for parking pass for a semester. That is insane. There's ways to get around it. I don't suggest it, don't take the risk but there is ways around it. And so what insurance does, it protects you and ensures that you will have some type of protection, even though you don't do what's always best for yourself. You have that plan B. Not saying that you should always rely on the plan B or get to where you have to rely on the plan B, but it is crucial to make sure that you have a plan B and that you have something to fall back on. And that's exactly what insurance does for you. Not only that, but if I was to go to, let's say, a college party that was 15 minutes away from campus and my car decides to break down, who do I call? Okay, if I don't have a AAA membership, I need to call my insurance company to say, hey, I need my car towed. I don't know what's going on. Can you all come look at it and find out for me? So also having that sense of protection that you will have when you have some type of insurance. I'm not saying that you got to go bankrupt on insurance, but that's something that you and your agent should discuss, and your agent should meet you where you're at, which is why I am with my agent now.
All right. Well, you know what?
Question.
There is a survey on insurance.com. They survey young people between the ages of 18 and 25. And most of the college students didn't even know what car insurance was, what they had on their policy. They assumed that if I got car insurance, it would cover everything, all incidences. And car insurance has very specific coverage for very specific things. And it does, you can't have towing on your car. They also didn't know what comprehensive coverage was, or collision coverage. Collision covers you if you collide with anything, except for an animate object, which would be an animal or a dog, a deer, or something like that. That's because that object was moving. Collision covers you if you collide with an inanimate object that may not be living, or a curb or a pole or anything that you hit your vehicle to. Comprehensive coverage for theft, vandalism, windshield, fire damage, and all your acts of God, which would include flood, hail, falling objects, anything that would be considered a no-fault claim. Also, young people didn't understand the difference between actual cash value and replacement cost. And it is funny because I got this phone call this week. They said, somebody hit me, my car's total, and I'm waiting for Farmers to get me another car. Okay. Because they had new car replacement on their policy. That's not what new car replacement means. It doesn't mean your insurance company is going to buy you another car. It means that if in fact your car is total, instead of getting paid actual cash value is the value of your car brand new minus all the beating up that you did on it. So the value of your car minus depreciation. When you have new car replacement, they give you the value of your car if you had to go out and purchase a new car that day. So if you went out and purchased that same car that day, how much would it cost you to buy it for? That's the only difference in the coverage. It does not mean that we replace your vehicle. And that's very important because a lot of people really think that that is in fact the case. It is not. Another thing that young people believe was that if they damaged their car, that their insurance company would cover it no matter what, even if it was just liability on their car. We know that's not true, right?
No, absolutely not.
Right, comprehensive and collision. Most young people also didn't know what their liability limits were, but that's not uncommon. Most adults don't know what their liability limits are. But they didn't even realize that the coverage was split limits, meaning that usually you have like 50, 150 or 100, 350. The first number means that this is how much we pay for any particular person. If you do injury to someone, this is how much we pay for any one particular person. The second number means that if no matter how many people are involved in that one accident, this is the maximum amount we're going to pay out. And then the third number in the split limits is the amount that they're willing to pay out for property damage. And that's the actual replacement of the other people's property that you damaged in that accident. They also didn't know what a deductible was. You know what a deductible is, don't you, Amaya? It's what you pay out of your pocket.
Yeah.
Right, before you get your car back. And just to put out there, as young people get up and they go off to school, especially if you are sending them to school with their vehicle, okay, they need to know these things. They need to know who to call if the car breaks down. They need to know what to do if there is an accident. They need to know who to call if there is a car accident, because what you don't want is them going off and getting into trouble and spinning their wheels on circumstances that they can't control. Okay. Now, from the cost standpoint, there are discounts that a student driver can get. Number one, if you have a driver between the ages of 16 and 25, there is a such thing called a good student discount. Usually it's if you have a grade point average of a B or above, right? If you do, you can turn in your grades or you can fill out a form and have the school to validate it, and that will give you a good student discount. Now, this discount can be anywhere from 17 to 12%, which if you're paying a healthy amount for your insurance, that could be a lot. Okay, especially if your grades are pretty good. Okay, if in fact, another discount you can get if you have a student and you did not allow them to take the car to school and they are away at school, you can do driver away at school, student away at school, as long as the school is more than 100 miles away. And that's for example, Jasmine. Is Jasmine on here? I think Jasmine is on here. Jasmine is away at Virginia Union University in Richmond, Virginia, which is definitely more than 100 miles away from Baltimore. Jasmine, tell me how it's been being back at school. Jasmine? Hi, Jasmine.
Yeah.
We need you on video. Can you tell me how it's been back at school?
It's been going good. Just getting equipped with like classes and stuff.
Right. And are you in your own on-campus apartment?
I'm in my like own dorm room.
You're in a dorm room? And how much stuff did you take from home back to school?
Basically just
Oh, we can't hear you, Jasmine.
Oh, okay. I said like clothes, basically. And
Did you
like,
take like a microwave?
Like other stuff that I need.
Right. Did you take a microwave and a whole bunch of stuff?
I took like stuff like that because we needed it. So.
Right, and we could see your microwave behind you. We could see your microwave behind you, Amaya. Yeah, and so did you know, especially if you have an on-campus apartment, even though technically you're in your parents' house, and anything that you take out of your parents' house can extend to your location, no matter where you are. If you decide to go to take some classes in Europe in the summertime, no matter where your stuff is in the world, it's usually covered. However, there are some instances, especially when you get a particular age, where you will need your own policy. So one of the things that you want to think about when you are going back to school is personal property. You want to get a renter's insurance policy. And the basic rent insurance policy is probably around $15 a month. It will cover like $15,000 or minimum $5,000 worth of personal property, which includes your microwave, your clothes, your shoes, all of those things. And it will cover it anywhere in the world. But one of the things that, especially as you get older, whether it's an on-campus apartment or an on-campus dorm room, a lot of colleges have been requiring them to have renter's insurance because they want to make sure that the liability exposure is covered. So the liability exposure is for those parties that y'all have. You have parties?
Oh, yeah.
And all the folks you have in your room, and you have folks in your room, and you guys just acting crazy, and somebody gets hurt. Right? And the first thing they want to do is sue the school, because the school allowed. The second thing they do is they sue you, because you over 18 and it happened in your room, or it happened in your apartment. So a lot of times, the apartment complex is requiring their on-campus apartment students or apartments that surround the campus, because a lot of time people buy investment properties around universities and rent out the spaces to college students. They
Yeah.
require you to have a liability coverage, a renter's policy, so that if you do something or if you have an event or that they will be named as an additional insured and they will be covered if somebody decides to sue you for what happened at your party. So y'all been in parties since you've been back to school?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of party you been to since you've been back to school?
Frat parties.
I see.
Yeah.
What frat parties?
Alphas.
Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Yeah.
Black and gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Y'all place with them like they're a little
So
crazy.
y'all thinking about pledging? Okay, you thinking about pledging, Jasmine? Okay, that's all you gotta say. I know we don't want to put it out there. Because then that's just opening up, to stuff that goes on. But good for you. I think that when you go to college and develop these relationships, whether you have a roommate or not, you are building relationships and connections. Relationships and connections that last a lifetime, which includes joining social organizations that have excellent scholastic ethics and also have excellent social commitment to the development of the community and providing help and assistance to those who may need it and may not be in a position to have access to the things that you have access to. That's the importance of developing those relationships with those sororities and even the relationship as sorority members with brother fraternities. Because we are all, regardless of what we look like or what our tastes are or what our methods are, we are all working toward one goal, and that is the development and the education and the pursuit of excellence in the African American community. That's what we're supposed to all be going for. And yes, you should pursue it. Just don't let me have to come down there because they did something. Okay, so we were talking about renters insurance and roommates. Sometime in some situations, you and your roommate can share the same renters insurance policy. It's not a bad idea. It just makes sure that all parties involved are covered, and that would be something you guys would negotiate from a cost standpoint. You want to make sure that your renter's insurance policy has replacement costs on your personal property. If you have anything that is over $1,000 in value, you want to make sure it's specifically listed on the policy to make sure it's accurate. If anyone has any questions, I want to make comments, I want to talk about their back to school experience, you can give us a call at 410-481-1010. Okay, and the last thing we want to talk about before the break is health insurance.
Yes.
We're going to do a lot of talking about this after the break. One of the last things, so like if you work for a major corporation like Verizon, or if you're a teacher in Baltimore City Public Schools, or if you're working for a major entity, a lot of times these large corporations will allow you to extend coverage to your adult child all the way through college up to the age of, I'm not sure what the age is now. If you know and you out there and you're a caller, call in and make sure we know it, but I believe it's up to the age of 26. You can carry coverage on your adult child if they are a student. and full-time student. And I'm not, it used to be if they took any classes at all, you could carry it. But now I believe they have to be a full-time student. And this will allow them to maintain their medical insurance coverage all the way through to being able to be financially independent. And the presumption is that it gives you the opportunity to have coverage from high school into undergrad all the way through to grad school, because the average graduate student will finish by age 24. And then it gives you that extra 2-year buffer to find a job after school, which we know so many young people have not been able to find, but up to age 26. But health insurance under the Affordable Care Act has given opportunities and that allow students to qualify for health insurance independently, especially after the age of 26, because a lot of people are not only getting their bachelor's, their master's, but also their doctorates, which may or may not take you all the way up to the age of 30 as being a student. 70% of students thought that they bounced off of their parents' health insurance, thought that they would get bounced off of their parents' health insurance before the age of 26. And many young people, and I found this quite frequently, walk around without health insurance because they don't know what to do. So we're going to take a break for station identification. I want to thank you for listening to us today, to our young people who are talking about doing their positive things. I also, before we go, want to give a shout out to our some of our sponsors and our those who donated to the furthering of the show. Mr. Ralph Purnell at Surge Luxury. He rents and provides services on for the ultimate dream car experience. You can visit reservations at Surge, and that's CEIRGE luxury.com. Or you can give him a call at 301-857-2161. Or you can visit him on Facebook at Surge Luxury and on Twitter at Surge Luxury. And that's CIERGE Luxury. I also want to thank Kevin Holloman at Kevin's Junk and Trash Hauling. If you need anything to be picked up anytime or want to establish trash service for your business or your location, you can give Mr. Holloman a call at 410-944-0093. And then, so we're going to go now. When we come back, I'll talk about our other sponsors. Thank you.
As the road you travel changes, so can your insurance need. Talking with Farmers Insurance Agent Ramona Jones-McClain can help you assess whether you're ready for the journey ahead. Call Farmers Agent Ramona Jones-McClain today at 443-660-7131. That's Ramona Jones-McClain at 443-660-7131.
Hello, DMV. This is Ramona Jones-McClain, your insurance guru. I am a farmer's agent located at 11707 Reisterstown Road in Reisterstown, Maryland. Here, you can call me at 443-660-7131 or listen to my show every Thursday at 3 p.m. at podbean.com, the real insurance guru.
I look for the things I don't know.
I was talking about our sponsors. We also want to thank Billy Tescara at Tacoma Enterprises. They own the Avis Rental Car in Reisterstown, Maryland. If you need a rental car, please give his agency a call. These businesses are minority and Black owned and serve the community that we serve. His number is 443-813-3483. And then Mr. James Seymour. He is from Seymour Designs. He works in construction and works with building and remodeling and managing construction teams. He's with Seymour Designs, and his number is 301-672-4442. And our major sponsor for this month is the Masters of Construction. I don't know if you remember, earlier this year, we did a show on fire restoration for one of my policyholders whose house had caught on fire, where the Masters of Construction have come in and taken care of our clients' services and provides fire and water restoration, and they are exactly what you need. If you just want to do some simple remodeling, or if you have had a disaster in your life and you need to have your house repaired and replaced, do not worry. You can call the Masters of Construction at 443-250, and I'm going to get you that number, 443-250. $5048. 443-250-5048. So we were talking about health insurance. Guys, tell me what's going on with your health insurance. Amaya.
So they give you two options. You either can use the health insurance that they have for you, in which will account towards your school loan or your scholarship or whatever you came to school with, or you can tell them, hey, I don't need you all. I have my own health insurance. So what this does is, say that you needed to go to the doctors and you needed campus safety to transport you to the hospital. Well, if you have your own health insurance, it will cover that. It will cover your transportation to the hospital, and then it will also cover your medical bill based on the type of insurance that you have, based on the type of insurance that that hospital accepts. But if you have your own health insurance, oh, wait a minute, let me backtrack because I'm skipping. If you were also to see a counselor here at McDaniel, I'm not sure how they do it at other campuses or universities, but to see a counselor, you get 2 free visits, and then anything after that will be billed to your tuition. And either the health insurance that you got with the school will take care of it, or your own personal health insurance will take care of it, that health bill alone. And those are the 2 main reasons that they have at McDaniel. Or let's say you play sports, okay? They need to see that you have some type of medical insurance, because if you do not, you will not be permitted to play on the field or cheerlead or throw people in the air or anything of that nature. And because I am a cheerleader who holds 250, not even 250, like 100-pound people in the air, there is a likely chance that something can happen to me and or that person. So to ensure that everyone is safe, they ensure that you at least have some type of insurance. So you will not come onto campus without have some type of insurance, whether that being the insurance that the school provides for you or your health insurance.
And you, Jasmine, what about your health insurance?
My school also gives health insurance out to students, and they do kind of like the same for like sports and stuff, because you can get hurt on the field playing football. You just get hurt in general. Like, we had a couple incidents last semester where people had to like get rolled off into like the ambulance because something happened to them.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and mainly it'd be like with just like sports and stuff, and like just regular people. But they usually like they give you the health insurance and stuff, and they just put it in your account, like your whatever you're using, like your student loans or your or like your scholarship that you get. They just put it into that, and that's how it goes and stuff.
Okay. And either one of you all been hurt yet this year?
No, I've been fine.
No, but I actually had a girl last semester who I had in the air who fell and tore her ACL.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah. So if you're doing activities at school, one of the things you want to make sure you have is health insurance. So I'm going to give some tips out to young people. Open enrollment for the state of Maryland is coming up. And I do know if you are a student that's going out of the state, sometimes Maryland's coverage will not transfer to other states. You have to get coverage for the state where you are physically located. which is probably one of the reasons why the university offers coverage and offers the opportunity to make sure you have health insurance at your school. So some of the tips when you are looking for health insurance, especially if you're over 21 and you decide to go to the Maryland Healthcare Connection, cheapest isn't always the best. Sometimes the cheapest has very high deductibles or co-pays, and you end up putting a lot of upfront money out of pocket in order to get health care. Make sure you look at what they're offering and what your copay is. If you're going to pay $1 or $5 for prescriptions, if you have to pay $25 every time you go to the doctor, and what your total out-of-pocket expense is going to be when you're deciding what health insurance program you want to go in. Number 2, make sure your doctor is in your network, especially if you're close to the area where you previously resided. Make sure your doctor will accept your insurance, or you find a doctor or a clinic or a practitioner that you're going to feel comfortable going to if situations occur that will be covered by your health insurance. Because the last thing you want to do is go somewhere and they say, oh, yeah, we take your insurance. They may take a form of your insurance and not the actual type that you have. They may recognize the name of your company, but like Blue Cross Blue Shield has 6 or 7 variations. So does Aetna. So does a variety of these insurance carriers out here. And maybe they take Aetna, but they don't take the form of Aetna that you have. So make sure your doctor accepts your insurance, or that you find a provider that will accept your insurance and give you the care that you need. If you can stay on your parents' plan, do so. That's the easiest way for you to not have to worry about any changes in your lifestyle, and you can stay in up to the age of 26. The second thing, and I talk about this all the time, as young people, we need to become familiar and have a good understanding of healthcare terminology, of the tests that are being taken, of the procedures that they are asking about, of the diagnosis that they are attaching. I find quite frequently a young person went to a doctor 5 years ago and didn't know that that doctor put a diagnosis on their medical record, and then they never treated them for it. So they go to do something later, and this diagnosis is sitting there, and has them end up paying higher premiums for health insurance, life insurance, or a variety of things when it may not actually be accurate. You need to pay attention to what the doctors are telling you, the information they are providing you. And these days, ladies, you can Google anything. You can Google any test, procedure, anything, and in order to get greater understanding of your circumstance and your situation. The other thing is, do not rely on the emergency room for regular health care. Okay, get a doctor. And this is going out to my young gentlemen. Okay, you may be 21 and strong and virile, but you too need to go see a doctor once a year. Do not rely on the emergency room when you get hurt or you just not feeling well as a form of health care. It is not. It is not. The best health care is the preventive health care, the proactive health care, the health care that you catch in advance. But again, if you don't have medical insurance, or if you're being kicked off your parents' medical insurance, or if you find out that your Maryland medical insurance does not extend to the state, every state has a healthcare connection in which you can go to and get information on. The last topic, this is my favorite topic, okay, is life insurance. So Jasmine, tell me, before you went to college, did you get life insurance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got life insurance, and I think I got it through my mother.
Do you know how
She
much
was
coverage
on.
you have?
Not of recently, not yet, but I know she was paying for it.
Okay. Do you know what type of coverage you had? No,
I
but
think I
you
had,
do know, that you do
yeah.
have some life insurance, right?
Yes, I know I have life insurance. She told me she got me life insurance. I know I have that.
Okay. How about you, Amaya?
I hope I got life insurance. No. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, I do have life insurance. So I currently have two policies actually. I had one since I was younger with my grandmother, but now she is deceased. And then I also have one with Farmers. Yeah.
Do you know how much you have?
50,000.
And do you know what type of policy you have? It is a
Permanent policy.
yes. So one of the things that people don't think about, and I used to tell this story a lot. There was a young lady who lived in California, and this was some 20 years ago. She had been in college for 3 years, and she was, I believe, a soccer player. I think she was a soccer. No, I think it was with the stick.
Baseball.
No, not
tennis. Golf.
Lacrosse. She was a lacrosse player, and she was out on the field, and somehow the ball hit her right here on the temple, and it knocked her out, and she went into a coma. She was in, I believe she was in her senior year. So she had, I don't know at the time, $60,000, and yeah, it was only $60,000 during that time. It was a while ago, in student loans, right? And she ultimately ended up passing away. 6 months after her family started getting these bills from the student loan company. Because she was under the age of, I believe she was 21, because she was under, I think the age limit at that time was 24, and considered a dependent of her parents, the student loan company came after the parents to pay the student loans back. They had no life insurance because in their minds, what would she need life insurance for? We could afford to bury her. She didn't really have credit cards or had a car note. You know what I mean? She had no debt, right? And they felt like it was unnecessary. She was young. She could get her own policy once she got her first job. I encourage parents that when your young person goes to school, that you get a life insurance policy. They do have debt, and the debt does not go away. It follows the person that claims their estate, and their estate is their physical body. When you go to bury your child, that debt is walking down the hall behind you. Okay, you need to have life insurance for them so that any debt that is incurred, and that includes student loans, that includes debt from the school, all of that debt can be paid off and paid up, and will not follow you for the rest of your life as they attempt to attach it to your Social Security number. And I know you're asking, well, how are they doing that? Because you have to fill out a FAFSA when your child applied for whatever services or whatever aid or anything that they may or may not be eligible for. You had to fill out a FAFSA, and that connected your Social Security number to your child's accruing debt. The only time that it will not come after you is if they're over, I believe, the current ages of 26. Okay, but they can still attempt to do so. They can still attempt to do so. And this is why you need life insurance. Let me tell you, some of the biggest misnomers about life insurance is that it costs too much. Oh, I got time to get it. Oh, I'm going to live forever. I'm going to live forever. No, you won't. Okay? You can afford it. You do need it. It is not depressing to talk about. It's depressing to not have it. It is depressing to have to set up a GoFundMe page to put your loved one in the ground. And don't put it off. Don't say, oh, I'm going to get it eventually, or I'm going to get around to it. It's as important as that chicken sandwich is down at McDonald's. And the thing is that it probably costs just about that much per day. You can get a $150,000 or $75,000 simple term policy for your 19-year-old at $15 a month. Literally. And most people in that age bracket pay less than $200 a year. That's for a term policy. A term policy is your temporary policy that lasts for 10, 20, 30 years. For your permanent policy, you're going to pay a little bit more. But what is the value of getting the permanent policy? You got a policy in which cash is accumulating in, that if there's an emergency, your young person, your young adult can access it, can pull the money out and loan it to themselves, not withdraw it, and do what they need to do with it. Okay, but there are many reasons why life insurance is necessary. Student loans, covering dependents, meaning young people get pregnant. If they are not here, who's taking care of their child? That's why they need life insurance. The other thing is student loans aren't the only way to pay for college education. Parents of students can finance their child's education through various methods, including home equity lines of credit and 401k loans. If the student dies prematurely, these debts still need to be paid off, which can take a heavy financial toll. A term life policy in the total amount of the expected college debt will help cover these expenses. College is expensive, and it is even more expensive as we go. Jasmine, how much is your tuition each semester? I can't hear you.
My tuition for the semester would be $5,000.
5,000. And what about your room and board?
Mm-hmm.
Is that after or before your scholarship?
I think it's.
Is that after your scholarship?
I think it's after, but I know it's like. Well, my board comes with my board and meal is together, so it's like 2,000 for both. So they did the
Okay.
room. It's you put the room charge and the meals together.
How much
that's
is your
like
tuition of mine?
So mine is 45,000, or 46,000. We want to round it up per year. And then for the room, it's 6,500. For the board, it is 6,700. And then new students, they have a fee to pay with $970 fee, which is just the deductible to say, hey, I do choose the school. This is where I'm going. There's no turning back. But with my scholarship, because I got a full ride, I only pay, I want to say about $1,000, and that's just for books, roughly, if even that.
Okay. But as you see, college is expensive. One of the things that I did, well, I started when my kids were born and they were young. I got a permanent life policy that accumulated cash for the very reason of when they went to college, I would have money I could loan out of their policy in order to cover unexpected expenses and things. They also have a program with the state of Maryland. If you start saving now, you can put money away from for students that go to school in the state of Maryland. And I believe the state of Maryland will match it in some way. We're going to find out some more information about that. I think it's a 501b program. If I'm saying it wrong, call in
They
and tell me
also
what's
have
right. Go ahead.
they also have a Maryland Higher Education grant for students, in which gets applied and you have to renew it every year. And because it is a grant, you don't have to pay it back. So they take your academics from your high school year, accumulated with your semesters from college. So this year they took my grades from my first semester and say, okay, you did really well, you did really bad. This is how much we're going to give you. The only thing is you have to keep applying for it.
Okay, and what's it called again?
The Maryland of Higher Education
Okay.
grant, MHEC.
I know that as things get tighter and the economy starts squeezing, the cost of education is going to keep going up, and the availability of funds is going to be lowered.
You can also get scholarships from your local governor, mayor, things of that. So also look into that for upcoming college students.
Absolutely. And even if you just put away $25 a month for your 2-year-old now, when they get ready to go to college, the monies will be available. But this is all about understanding insurance, what's important, the life events that occur, that take you into a new direction, how to protect it, how to make sure things are in place, and how to make sure you understand what it is you are protecting. I want to thank you guys so much for being on with me this week. Jasmine, down there at VUU, and Amaya over at McDaniel College. All right. You guys, I want you to do well, to focus, to be excited about being back in school. This is the best time of your life. You are never going to have this experience again. Enjoy yourself, apply yourself, get the most out of it. Be the best you that you can be. Okay, because there's only one of you, nobody else like you guys, nobody else. Okay, and just stay focused, and everything that we talked about today, share it with someone else, direct them to our Facebook page and or to our YouTube channel so they can get the information that they need, and just give to others as you have been given to. Okay. Yay. And I want to thank my listeners for listening today. This is our back to school show. We do have one more guest, Taylor Matt, who is a student at Franklin High School. Taylor, tell me how it is being back in school.
It's a little stressful, very stressful, actually, because you have to get ready for college, and that means to apply and make sure you have the right essay, because colleges now aren't really focused on test scores, mostly focused on the strength of your essay. So that means you have to really put everything into it. And then you also have to focus on scholarships, and then still manage your personal life and your work life, and still keep your grades together on top of that, and still try to have fun and take your last year of high school seriously.
So Taylor got a head start. She just got her first life insurance policy this month. Yep. She got her a $50,000 universal life policy, and it is already accumulating cash in it. Isn't that right, Taylor?
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's what we want to do. We want to encourage our high school students going to college and our college students going to life to think about those financial, life insurance is an asset. One of the things when you get ready to go buy something, one of the questions right all the way down, like question 9 or 10, they say, do you have life insurance? They want to make sure if you have prepared financially, if something happens, and there could be money sitting in your life policy. So you want to make sure that you are building your financial portfolio now. And the first step is always a little bit of life insurance. And your insurance guru, we are broadcasting live from 11707 Ricestown Road. Please give us a call, 410-443-660-7131. This is your insurance guru, and we are out.
we stand on the opposite shore. Hello,